Halloween's almost, it's right around the corner. I've been watching a lot of scary movies.
Yeah.
It's the season. Have you guys been checking out any like horror movies this week? Or
I have not
lately?
seen a single one. Not one.
No.
I put Shining on in my office the other night.
I watched a little bit of that. I popped in.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I was here editing the podcast last week, and for a moment I was by myself, and it was dark, and I put The Shining on, and I was like,
It's funny. In the beginning of October, I
Too
watched
scary.
The Shining.
Too scary for me.
scary?
Too scary for me to be here by myself. If like Kevin was here, it'd be all right, but it was.
That's
That's true.
That's the best way to me. Like that's the best way to experience a horror movie. Like
Yeah.
I find it's rare when a movie actually gets under your skin. So when it does, it's like a nice.
Yeah.
You should embrace.
It's supposed
that
to
moment.
evoke something in you. Fear.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of Mama. Not the best.
Mama.
Yeah,
What's that?
So that guy directed It,
Oh, he did?
and Mama was his first movie.
Oh,
And-
really?
I
And
didn't
I've
know
heard
that.
it's not that good, but there's a
It's just I don't like CG.
there's a YouTube short
What?
that like inspired
Oh.
it.
Yeah,
So basically,
yeah.
I can't remember the name of this director, but I find this really interesting because this is what happens to a lot of new directors. They make a YouTube short, it's a big hit. Somebody loves it. They give them like $1 million to turn their short into a feature-length film. That's what happened with Mama.
Yeah.
It does
design-
okay, and then they get to direct something like It, and then they're world famous.
And it was definitely like a very, very well done effort, I think.
well,
Yeah.
it was a big hit, regardless whether you like it or not. It was a smash hit.
I like that. Mama, I will say, had awesome sound design because the little demon ghost children made the fucking scariest. Like what I imagine demons, the noises they make.
Oh,
it was very accurate.
Real demon noises.
Real
caught
demon
on tape.
noises in surround sound. When you get a nice 7.1.
I watched Mama and I heard it say, "What the hell do you want?"
Oh shit.
What do you want? Yeah, I mean, I watched. I had never seen the original Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I'd never seen that. and
Let's
that was-
talk about that.
That was in 4K and it was really cheap. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
So, I love that movie. That's the movie
Yep.
that kind of started the slasher genre.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's one of those movies. This is not an insult to the movie. It sounds like it is, but it's not. It's one of those movies I saw too late. Where
Oh, really?
Where I saw it and it was like, oh, that was it. But no, but like, just in the sense of, oh, everything absorbed this movie. You know what I mean? It's like I saw this after so many movies that have taken from it.
Right.
That
Which
it's
is
like
exactly
okay.
what I said about Terminator 2.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Where
a
it's like
there's a
everything
million-
took from this. Everything did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's what I was saying, and this is why, Sean, this is what I was just saying. Rarely do you watch an old horror movie like that where it gets under your skin.
Right.
So I bet, Rocco, if you were watching that movie here at 2 a.m,
Yeah.
it would be a lot creepier to you.
Sure.
And you might be able to appreciate it.
That's true.
Well,
for how it was, when it was first released.
But again, by me saying that, I'm just saying that was my reaction. It wasn't. That's not me saying it's bad.
Yeah.
You have to contextualize it. It's just I know a lot of people who. This is just a side kind of tangent, but I know a lot of people who this week saw. For some reason, I know multiple people that saw Psycho for the first time.
Really?
And I won't say anything about it in case somehow you haven't seen it. But man, everyone at home, go see Psycho. Come on, the original. It's
great.
Don't see the one
No.
with what's his name.
Vince Vaughn?
I
Vince
watched
Vaughn,
a lot
yeah.
of that show.
Oh, the Bates Motel?
Yeah.
my
Oh God.
I watched the first 10 seconds and I was done.
Yeah.
Not good.
He had an iPod in. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
But anyway, and what a lot of people have said about it, and I watched some recent thing about it, where people were like, yeah, you know what? The only thing that sucks about the movie Psycho is they have this whole ending scene where the detective kind of explains everything that happened. Like he just kind of runs down every twist, like, yeah, so da 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 da. And that scene is just so not needed. You don't need this guy to explain it all to you. But when they told me that, I was like, but you have to give it context. Audiences were not ready for that kind of whiplash that they got in that movie, where it was twist, 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 twist. At every level, story-wise, casting-wise, everything in that movie had you flipped upside down. And no audience was ready for that.
No.
Yeah.
So they had to have someone come in and go, okay, this is
what
where
happened.
we're at. And then it made sense. And it's because of Psycho that everything in fiction can now build off that and go, hey, you've seen what that can do, but we'll do this. And you don't need someone to explain it.
Yeah.
But at that time, you needed that. And that's where I'm coming from with Halloween. It's not an insult. What an incredibly inspirational and pivotal movie that is. I just never knew that. As I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, that was really simple. and you've kind of seen everything there, but it's because it was so influential.
Yeah.
Everything took it.
Well,
you know,
for
so
me-
I like to have that context.
You know, the first time I watched The Shining, I remember I was like 12 years old. I
Yeah.
was really getting into horror movies for the first time, so I wanted to watch all the famous horror movies I'd always heard
Yeah.
about. And I'd
Yeah.
always heard, like, one of the scariest ones ever is The Shining.
Yeah.
So when I rented it from Blockbuster, I was very excited to watch it. And I remember I popped it on like 4 in the afternoon on like a Wednesday. I'd just gotten home from school, and I watched it, and like my friends were coming over, and like my dog was on my lap, and I'm watching this movie, and then like it ends, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't think that was very scary. Like, why do people like this movie so much? But years later, I would go back to it and watch it again, and it wasn't even the second or third time I watched it, maybe the fourth or fifth time I watched it. It was like the week of Halloween.
Yeah.
I put it on like 10 o'clock at night. I was alone in the house, and
Yeah.
it sucked me in, and it scared me more, even though I had already watched it multiple times, just setting the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what I
That's the
think,
power
like,
of that
I
movie.
hear everything you're saying, but sometimes horror movies, they just don't get you.
Yeah.
But later on, they still might. You know,
Yeah, definitely,
it's
yeah.
all about like the mindset you have going into it.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast about Psycho actually, and they were talking about like the behind the scenes and the making it or whatever. And I didn't realize that before Psycho, you would just pay to go see a movie, and you would go. The movie would just keep playing on a loop, and you just go and you'd watch the movie like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the end. I'll wait till the
Yeah.
beginning. But you would see everything.
There's like a
Yeah.
TV screen running.
yeah,
all
and this
day.
kept going.
Wow.
And so you
And
show up
the-
whenever you want to show up. Watch them halfway through, and then you watch the other half like, backwards
Yeah.
almost.
But
Just
then
fucking-
Psycho,
That was
right?
the one.
They did-
Hitchcock was like, that can't happen in this one.
Yeah,
Because
it
you
was
would
like-
be lost. Like if you walked in the middle, it's like, what is this? Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't know what was happening.
But there were there were like cutouts of him in the lobby that are like, if you're a minute late for Psycho, you won't be coming in.
yeah,
like stuff
yeah.
like that. You
And
know?
that was like the first time they ever did that, and that started how that worked, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
He ran a tight ship, that Hitchcock.
It also ended a lot of showers for people. Man, when I was a
Bad.
kid, I saw some of Psycho, and I didn't want to take a shower. It was like, oh no,
That's
oh,
like Jaws
I
on
don't.
the
What if
beach.
someone comes in? You know, that Hitchcock was so good at tapping into those base fears. You know,
is Psycho scary? Like, I can't. I don't think it's scary.
I think it kind of is.
It's
If
like
you
it's
don't
a
know-
classic movie.
If you, I mean, especially some of the ending stuff,
You
like
think? If you don't know?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, that terrified me.
Psycho
Sure.
has jump scares in it. I remember being jump scared watching Psycho. I'll spoil
Yeah.
some if people don't mind at home. I'll spoil the parts of Psycho that scared me.
Yeah, hey, skip the next 2 minutes if you ain't seen
If you haven't
Psycho.
seen
I
Psycho.
remember I probably watched Psycho, around that age, teenager, 14 years old, when the detective is like walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
mom comes running out of the bedroom and
shot
just stabs him and he falls down the stairs. That scared me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shot really creepy too.
That
It is.
that startled me. The bathroom scene, I mean, I was kind of expecting it, but it's still like
Yeah.
horrific.
When I saw it as a kid, I didn't know anything about that. So that was like,
Oh,
oh
really?
no, is there someone in there? Like that, it's just this creepy feeling. Is there someone in the room? I'm
yeah,
taking a shower.
they do
know?
it is like, what other movie is there where there is the main character and then in the middle of the movie she fucking dies?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not. Oh, are we following her? Okay, I guess not. And
you
there's
know
the
what?
whole thing with like
Yeah.
her stealing the money, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that was for nothing. That doesn't even matter.
And that's what the movie gets its most credit for is in terms of like surprising things. It's like, wow, the lead is gone that soon. But man, it doesn't get enough credit for the money in that movie. Man, they keep showing that money. Oh man, how's that? Oh, that's gonna come into play. Oh,
I don't
that
think
money's gonna come back to. Oh, it's gone. What? It's in the.
Even,
oh, it's gone.
I mean,
All right.
give enough credit that it's a movie about a secretary who rips off her boss.
Yeah.
Name
Yeah.
another movie from the 60s
Yeah.
Yeah.
that does that. And then she gets murdered.
Every level of it is.
Yeah.
That there's very few movies I would just say are like 10 out of 10.
And I
that
will
movie
point out,
is-
because it's relevant, we're talking about how Psycho is progressive.
Yeah.
It's a woman in the 60s who steals a large sum of money from her boss, becomes an outlaw, pretty unheard of for film in the 60s. That woman's daughter is now 60 years old, starring in a horror movie this
Crazy.
Halloween, also unheard of.
Also unheard of.
So, like a legendary family breaking down walls. What other horror movie stars a woman in her 60s
Yeah.
as like the action
Yeah.
ass-kicking heroine of the film?
Here, I'm gonna wave real quick so people can unmute their microphones and that they're good, because we're not gonna spoil any more Psycho.
Damn,
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
she's
know.
breaking new grounds.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new Halloween. Did you see the new Halloween?
I haven't got a chance to
No.
either, and I want to.
No, I really wanted to. That's why I watched that one because I was like, yeah, I want to see the new one. It's just timing has not been good.
Not,
this is a
not
very
for me
busy
either.
time.
Seriously busy.
I made some time for Red Dead because I didn't want to not be part of that conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whatever.
Well,
But
I
that's
waited-
the only free time I've had.
I certainly waited the last minute because I played for like an hour and a half before I drove here, and that's my only experience. So, yeah, haven't gotten to the movies yet.
We haven't had a podcast question in a long time, but I would love it if you have not seen Psycho ever, and watch it now and email us were you scared or not. I'm very curious.
It's
And
scary.
also, did you know it was going to happen? Because I feel like it's such in pop culture, all the things that happen in Psycho.
Yeah.
Like I think it's been spoiled 10,000 times over for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So I'd be very curious to see has it been spoiled for you, and were you scared?
Even the opening, you're going to hear that opening music and go, oh, Busta Rhymes sampled this.
It's true.
You're gonna know.
You're going to go, oh, bus a bus. You know, just like every other day.
Yeah.
Just a normal day.